Hi, Bishop Dave. Sorry I couldn't be there for your celebration this week. Just want to say thank you for creating a space in our synod where lots of voices could be lifted up and celebrated. Personally, I want to thank you for being a great listener who's infinitely curious and willing to hear what others bring to the picture as we look at the mosaic of God. Bless you on your journey. Thank you for creating space and paving holy ground as the Spirit unfolds in the Oregon Synod. Best wishes.
In 2007, I went to Synod Assembly as both a representative for my congregation and as a seminary student who was awaiting call. We got to participate in the incredible process of selecting a new bishop. Of course, that would be Bishop Dave. Within just a couple of weeks, I was invited in for interviews and was called to my place at Emmanuel Lutheran. As it would turn out, on September 16th, 2007, I would be the very first new pastor Bishop Dave would ordain. There's one beautiful addendum to that story of Bishop Dave being my bishop. 2017, really close to the 10th anniversary of my ordination, turned around to begin worship on a Sunday morning, and there sat my bishop. And I'm sure there was a very pregnant pause when I considered what have I done wrong and who has called the bishop. I quickly decided that wasn't the case, and indeed, he was there to celebrate with me. So Bishop Dave, thank you for being my bishop. Thank you for being the one who was there on my day of ordination, one of the most incredible days of my life. Thank you for being there when I get to celebrate my ordination, and blessings to you as you discover what's next.
Hi, this is Pastor Leo from The Flame. Missing you all there today. A couple of things I think about when I think about Bishop Dave is first at the Pride Parade a few years ago with your bubble wand and your shorts and sandals and exuberant joy, greeting everyone with such love and welcome, and that same spirit of glee and hospitality you've brought into so many aspects of your ministry, and I'm so truly grateful. Also, your patience with my many, many questions and challenges, and walking with me as I figured out that, oh yes, I can be a pastor, and I believe that I am a pastor because you are my bishop and you walked with me along that way. And finally, just so much gratitude for all of your support for the LGBTQ community and for all of your work in for the care of the earth. I just have so much gratitude in so many ways, and thank you.
Since the moment Bishop Dave's professional life and mine mixed and he ordained me, I knew things were going to be a bit different, beginning with his Birkenklogs. But one of the things I really appreciated with Bishop Dave was his ability to see that things needed to change and that we needed new tools and new assets and new people to be able to do that. And Bishop Dave was always really good at saying yes when we had a creative new idea and then helping us find the resources to make it all happen. So Bishop Dave, thanks for being our bishop. We're so pleased to have worked together, and we're excited about whatever future you've helped us create. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah. Bishop Dave has encouraged, inspired, equipped, and befriended me. He ordained me in a blizzard that closed the freeway. He installed me on holy ground without his shoes after his GPS drove him into a muddy field and forced him to hike without robe, Bible, or sermon until he could hitch a ride out to Valby with a nearby rancher. He even installed me a second time on the eve of a first call retreat at Holden Village for both of us. When I felt inadequate as pastor or dean, he insisted otherwise. When I anticipated condemnation, he reframed my tale of woe and offered compassion. Dave, it has been a privilege to call you bishop. I intend to keep calling you friend. Thanks for everything.
I'm Greg Shea, Vice President-elect of the Oregon Synod, and a member of Trinity Lutheran Church in Gresham. It has been my privilege to work with Bishop Dave on Synod Council for the last 4 years as the representative for the Mount Hood cluster. In that time, I have seen that the Bishop cares deeply about the Oregon Synod and the ELCA. I have found Bishop Dave to be an eloquent speaker who is very knowledgeable and passionate about the Bible and the teachings of our church. I've appreciated his sense of humor. I have watched and listened as he has walked council through an issue or presented new programs. We have not always agreed on every issue, and that's okay and healthy for the discussion and the Oregon Synod. I always felt that he respected my and others on council's point of view, and I have seen Bishop Dave work directly with congregations on difficult issues. He always brought fairness and integrity to the discussions. I have come to think of Dave as a respected colleague, but more importantly, as a friend. Dave, thank you for your leadership in a thankless job. Thank you for your spiritual guidance. Thank you for your friendship. And may you have Christ's peace always.
Dave, here goes. I wonder if the Synod knows that what most of us see as an expiration date on food packaging, you read as its maturing date. I'm just saying, your sense of inclusion and what is viable is not the same as other sensibilities, and thank God for that. I wonder if the Synod knows that your solidarity with vulnerable communities, your investment in non-traditional ministry formations, your confrontation of misguided clergy, your quest for exceptional experience of the gospel through color and poetry and experiential learning, and frankly, your leadership style has not been normal. And somehow you've secured some significant staff around you to almost keep up with your current volleys into whatever insurgent expressions you're considering. And I wonder if the Synod knows how much of an advocate and a model you've been to minority members of the Church, as well as the Conference of Bishops. You created space for those voices that would otherwise not be realized. And even so, there are many of us who do know how exceptional you are. And while we will miss your leadership in the Synod, we are excited to hear what new ventures this closing chapter will open for you.
Hi, Bishop Dave. I feel so blessed to have learned from you and worked with you over the past few years. I'll always remember our trip to Poland in 2017. I was honored to be a part of that delegation, and I learned so much and enjoyed so much. Thank you for your forbearance in trading seats with me on Pastor Robert's wild ride through southwestern Poland. I will never forget your dawning concern as I leaned against the van in the gas station on the way to the Polish interstate, looking pretty green. So appreciation for that. But also on a more significant note, I remember a conversation that we had walking through the elementary school in Cheshire, where you talked about how so often we refer to the need to be deeply rooted. And you pointed out that Northwestern forests aren't deeply rooted, they're widely rooted. They connect to each other for mutual strength in the community of trees. You felt that that was a useful metaphor for the church here in the Pacific Northwest, and it is something that I've sat with ever since. It's these and many other lessons that I'll take with me, and I appreciate the opportunity that I had to learn them from you.
Bishop Dave, I really feel tremendous love for you, gratitude for you. You are in the back there because we are here in the retreat with the common table that we have been working together, and I admire you, and you have been very helpful for me. You make room for healing in my life. You make room for unfolding the gift, the spiritual gift that I have in my heart to share with the Oregon Synod. You make room for differences, different opinions. You make room for different approaches, and you have been part of the spiritual and theological mutual accompaniment from the beginning, with your openness, with your humbleness, and I have seen how you have been making room for voices within the Oregon Synod, and I'm very grateful for that. I couldn't be there today, but you are in the back. Okay? Thank you very much.
Bishop Dave, thank you for being my bishop, my pastor, my shepherd, mi compañero, all these years. My first bishop as a called pastor in this church. Our friend Juan Carlos has taught me that the word compañero means the one who shares bread with us. And I can't tell you what it's meant for me to have a bishop that takes that call to share bread so seriously and faithfully. The bread of our stories, the bread of our struggles, the bread of courage. I have felt so sustained on this journey alongside you alongside us. Know that you have nourished us well, and we are strong and healthy for the struggle and the mission ahead. Personally, I want to say thank you for trusting what this wild, rascally spirit has been up to in me as a leader and in my community, in those I love. Thank you for accompanying me to some pretty big rooms in some pretty high places over these years, and for trusting the new ancient shape of the gospel here in this place in Portland. I have said it repeatedly, and I will say it again. I have the best bishop in the ELCA. That is true. See you soon on the road and around the table, compañero. Peace.
I would not be the leader that I am today or serving in the capacity that I am today if it weren't for the way that you accompanied me, Bishop Dave. You have this uncanny vocational call to make space for things to grow and emerge. You did that for me when I was a young youth minister, discerning whether or not I fit within the ELCA and ordained ministry. You accompanied me as I discerned a call to mission development in this wild religious landscape that we find ourselves in here in Oregon. You've not just accompanied me, but you've also accompanied leaders that I accompany, people who are not Lutheran, but also not Lutheran, to companion them so that they see themselves as a part of this ecosystem, this ecology of leadership. You've invested in them. Thank you. You've accompanied me and others as we made space to discern potential calls to civil disobedience that ended up being civil disobedience. Thank you for all the ways that you've made space for me, and my leaders, and my leadership. I hope that I can do the same for others. To be a bridge between the ELCA and the Oregon Synod and our institutions that we love, and the emergence of the new, and the ways that God's Spirit is working in our neighborhoods and communities, so that we can be in conversation with one another, so we can powerfully act together. Thanks, Bishop Dave. Thanks for everything.
Bishop Dave, I want to take just a moment to thank you for the enormous impact that you and your ministry have had on my life personally, and also on my life with Robin, my beloved. I got to know you when we invited you to co-officiate our wedding in 2015 with my conference minister, Walter John Boris, and we ended up doing our premarital counseling with you, and you were funny and you were insightful, and we really felt supported by you. And the wedding itself was it was just beautiful. We were so glad that we asked you to do the sermon, and our friends still talk about that sermon. By far, many of them said the best sermon they'd ever heard at a wedding. We couldn't believe that you actually were making cultural references to the Matrix, even with red and blue stones in hand to give to us. And it was funny and moving and memorable. And that was just really the beginning of the relationship that I've had with you over the last few years. So enjoyed working with you in my interim ministry at St. James, and through the mutual theological accompaniment process. And in that, I've come to know you as someone who has a tremendous heart, and a heart that's strong for justice and also an ecumenical heart, and so appreciate your commitment to ecumenism, as well as your commitment to our earth and justice and so many other important things. You've been an incredible leader, and you will be missed as bishop.